I've always been very attracted to the solo figure on stage. When I was young and brought to the Opera House by my grandmother to all the Australian ballet seasons, and it was the solo dance that I was most attracted to. I was probably introduced to modern dance when I was about 14. Again, the solo dance, just the simplicity of the single figure on stage, I just love. Being able to totally focus on the detail of the performer at work and the poignancy of the single figure on stage. Something about modern ballet eliminated the fuss that the classics have in their props and costume and pomp and ceremony, and I could just see the body and just see the dancer and the dancer on stage in relation to space and time. Conception of any work for me is always straight off the floor, so there's no preconceived concept or idea that I approach the work with. I start alone, in silence, occasionally with sound completely unrelated to anything that I'm interested in, and then probably 3 or 4 weeks in I will introduce the composer into the room. She's a cellist, Helen Mountford. I've worked with her for 15, 20 years, and we play together. I don't tell her anything about what I've been working with, physically, conceptually, thematically, even musically, and I just let her work in her own space in relation to me. We have a very good rapport. In the case of Monumental, very quickly from the onset of that process of dancing in the studio, the swan and the placing myself in the tutu was already evident as something that I wanted to have in the piece. How that might be framed or contextualised was not evident until much further down the process. The overall shaping of a piece for me really comes much more from a poetic musical approach than conceptual. And I find if I pay attention to the musicality and the pacing and the composition of the work, the thematic material and the conceptual material finds its place much more appropriately than if I attempt to intellectualise those concepts or themes and place them on top of my physical experience of the material I'm working with. A lot of my work deals with the vulnerabilities, strengths, beauty, tragedy, the very, very base expressions of how we are. I think a lot of modern dance makers, choreographers are addressing this a similar sort of thing. You know, things about the human condition come up constantly. You know, it's hard to get away from because of the nature of the form, which is really dealing with the body. And now in contemporary dance creation, the dancer is really very vital in their presence.